Cheers, everybody. Welcome to another Cinema Chat, CineMayo. And I'm joined by Tom and Yadi. I'm also joined by Tim Allen. And we're ready for some fun and hilarity, which is, that's a line from the Honeymooners. Some people may know, but or maybe not. And hopefully we got some stuff to talk about here. Today, I know I got something to start the show off with, but I'm going to wait till there's a little more of an audience here, I think, before talking about this. I was a few minutes late here, which is very, I like to think, unusual because I don't like being late. I got a real thing about tardiness.
2 weeks in a row.
Was that last time? It was, right.
Yeah.
Twice in a row.
Yeah.
You're right. Last time was...
We're used to it now.
Yeah, what was it? My girlfriend was last time. Something with her. I can't remember what it was. And this time, wait till I tell you what happened. But now we had 8 people. Now we got 5. So I'm not about to talk about it. Let's just get rid of this thing here. Maybe that'll help. Hello, James. The Mets got 2 of 3 games. I heard they were doing really lousy. The Mets, right? They started doing bad again.
Yeah, they're doing good, and I'm sure they'll pick it up again.
You're sure? You don't really follow the Mets very often, do you? But happy birthday, Sir Richard.
Oh yes, it's Mr. Starkey's birthday today.
No, I swear to God, I read it. I'm like, who is he talking about? I'm like, Richard Starkey, a.k.a. Ringo Starr. Oh, yeah. 85 today, Ringo is. I got this little symbol telling me that my connection's unstable. Come on. Give me a break. Beetle Eddie, hello. And so we got more people joining, I can see. Also, I was a little taken aback by the death of Michael Madsen. Madsen with a D.
Yeah.
Yep. And I did a little video about it. I it's funny. In the video, I said I didn't realize that there's anything wrong. He didn't look like anything was wrong with him. This came out of nowhere. But I was toying with the idea of going to the Chiller Theater Convention in April, a couple of months ago, really, because it was late April. So it's not even 3 months. He was going to be there along with other people I wanted to see. I might have got his autograph. I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to go, but I didn't make it anyway. But I looked on YouTube and I saw some video people took of him there, and he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he didn't look too good, and he wasn't talking very well. So I'm thinking, he had some problems. I didn't know what it was. It was cardiac arrest, I believe, that he passed from. But I don't know his history or anything like that. Okay. In an interview last week, Zach Starkey said he would like to become Bob Dylan's drummer. Oh, we better hurry up. Wow.
Watch those notes. Play the right ones.
Yeah, and do the right thing. Don't play too loud.
Yeah.
All right. So before we talk about our movies, let me tell you my fiasco today and how I remedied that. Okay, this is bizarre. Okay, some people... I just had a video up for not even a couple hours. So I'm going to talk about this. Good evening, Douglas. So there's this thing out for the 50th anniversary, the Jaws popcorn bucket, and all kinds of Jaws paraphernalia and, mementos and everything coming out. So I wanted to get one, and I heard it was released, this bucket, by Alamo Drafthouse. Now, does anybody know what they have to do with AMC theaters?
It might be affiliated with AMC theaters.
It must be affiliated, yeah. And I went to order finally after delaying. I finally said, let me order from Alamo Drafthouse, and they were sold out. So I said, now what am I going to do? Well, let me look on eBay and stuff. And they were like, of course, the bucket is ordinarily like $42. They were all like $150, $200. They were on, of course, like they usually do, just like Record Store Day, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to pay that much. I mean, and look, I wanted this thing badly enough as a Jaws fan that I might have had to ultimately pay something like that if necessary. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this right now. So my girlfriend and I, at the time, a few weeks ago, we were going around online and we saw Walmart had it for $27. And I said, "How that can't be right." And he had the picture that looked like the real thing. I was comparing the photo with all the other photos of the real thing, and it looked pretty official. But then I started reading comments that some people were saying in Reddit or some other places. They said, "Oh, mine fell apart when I got it, and it's not the real thing." But I took a chance anyway for $25, and just before the show, I mean, within a couple hours, it finally came. Okay, now I'm going to use a big screen because this is interesting. And I just did a video about this. I wasn't going to show it because I figured I had a video, but just for posterity, I'll do it. So the thing comes, and first of all, when I get it out, it's rattling. It's rattling around, and I'm like, "Oh, why is it rattling?" Okay, this is the one I got. All right, now I open up the thing and I pour what the rattling is. The rattling are pieces of plastic from inside the mouth. It's just funny. This one here just happens to it broke in the shape of a
Yeah.
And I got all these little pieces rattling around. Okay, so I'm like, well, what's causing that? And I don't know if this is going to show through very well here. It did in my video. Yeah, I mean, it still smells.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's all cracked. The insides are cracked.
Yeah.
All right. And then I saw some videos where people had the real one that they got from AMC theaters, right out of the theater, and the bottom didn't look like this. This is just looks like a plaster bottom. The real ones have the logos and words and copyright and stuff on it. When you open this up here, the one I got, it's supposed to open like that. Put popcorn in there, which I will not do. I had no intention from day one of using this popcorn. I'm just going to have it as a background. But see, this is not supposed to be like this too much. It's too much of that. And this is very flimsy, and I noticed.
Yeah. That one got beat to shit.
This looks like somebody tried to fix it and pawn it off or whatever. But I figured if I couldn't get a real one, I'll settle for this because, you could just deal with it. So then I realized, what the hell? Why don't I call AMC Theater? Duh. What a novel idea, right? Call up AMC and say, do you have them? So a nice woman, very nice, friendly, tells me, oh, yeah, we got them. We got like 25. It's like, oh, okay. It's 10 minutes away. So I eat dinner and I finished at about 6:45. I have 45 minutes to showtime. And I'm like, I could go there and back, zip, zip. But what I didn't take into account was, and this is a Monday night, so I didn't figure it would happen. There's a line whipping around the concession stand, even on a Monday. So I had to wait on the line. I would have got here on time if it wasn't for the line. But while I was there, I got the real one that comes in a bag like this. Now, if anything goes wrong here, when we look at it, it'll be live.
No loose pieces?
By the way, this old one, I should mention, I'm not going to pull it. I'll get it later. The old one, out of curiosity, we all do stupid things, us humans. I put my nose in it, and I was smelling it. Oh, it was strong. It was like plastic or paint and still, hours ago, I got it. Like, I'm coughing on the ride there. I'm like, it's like in here. I'm like, it's all I freaking need. You can't develop, what, by just sniffing one time. Bad chemical fumes, can you? Anyway, let's see how this one's a lot lighter. I can tell you the official one is a lot lighter. I'm going to show you the differences when I get it out of here. I just want to be careful. Sometimes when you're doing a video or you're online live or something.
Why are you telling me this?
very light compared to the other one. I mean, it's very close. I mean, if I have them, it's funny because the other one is some things about it I like better. But of course, this. But I know they all have this on their piece of plastic that got to be taken off. I saw videos where they were doing this, and you can see there when I show you, there's no hinge here. Like the other one had that hinge thing, and then when you open the mouth of this one, it snaps closed. The other one doesn't snap; it just hangs. This one snaps.
Team Shark.
What's that?
The other one's a Team Shark.
Yeah, and the other one's darker.
Yeah.
I like the gray better on the other one. The gray, that's why I'm going to keep it. I'm not sending it back. But this is darker. This is the fake one. I like it better. It's darker looking than this one. This is lighter, but it's supposed to be a great white. So who the hell knows? But anyhow, and the inside here is different than the official one. Got those. See,
Look at that.
this looks a lot more safe to put your popcorn in. But wait a minute. You don't smell a damn thing. Everything smells fine.
What about the bottom, Joe? Does it have the stuff?
Yeah, I checked that out before I left. It's got like I'll show it to you. See, first of all, it's got the groove. It's got a groove, and you can't really see. Universal City Studios LLC, all rights reserved.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm like, yeah. And this is locked in there. Not like the other one. The other one's just flopping around. This thing is, but this doesn't look like much when you look at it this way. I mean, you gotta like kind of like have it like that or something. I saw one video which made me want to get it. I forget what her name is. Oh boy, she has a channel called Movie Chatter. I forget her name, and she has it open like this, just sitting on the side like that. And I thought that's what I'm going to do with it probably. So I'm a happy camper now for this 5 minutes. All right. And that's my story. It was worth it to me to do that.
Good job, Joe. Good job.
Yeah. And Tom, I know you can identify with that because you're like me. If you want something, you don't fuck around. You drive, you pay the money, you go to. I want it now. I'm going to do what I got to do, or whatever. That's what you got to do, man. I said I could have waited. I was originally going to do this because the movie theater is open till 11, and after we're done here, I was going to go there late and get it. But I figured I'll have it to show, a little show and tell there. So, speaking of Jaws, the news was that there were lots of shark sightings in Far Rockaway waters. That's where I live. I guess I won't go in the water that much. Yeah, there was another shark on Long Island attack somewhere. 3D printed copy.
Should have been the fake one. Yeah, maybe.
No.
Good evening, Romoga. So, before we start, if I tell you my favorite Denzel Washington movie, you're not going to be happy. But mine's Carbon Copy. That's his first movie from 1981 with George Segal. That's when nobody heard of him. That was, like I said, introducing Denzel Washington. I mean, there's better movies, of course, but just that period of my life, it's a stupid comedy where it turns out that he's living in, I forget, Sacramento, California, George Segal, like he's in this ritzy area, and then all of a sudden Denzel Washington introduces him as his son that he didn't know he had. So of course all kinds of interesting stuff happens from that. But you guys have a favorite?
American Gangster is great. There's a few. I liked his performance in Malcolm X was fantastic, or X or whatever. Like that one.
Sure.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a Denzel Washington movie, and I'm not kidding.
Oh.
Just nothing he's ever done really has appealed to me as the kind of movies that I watch that I've ever seen. I've probably seen bits of them, but I don't think I own one.
Yeah, he had the introducing title card in carbon copy. I like the part when he's got this beat up jalopy. It's really like, it's just like the exhaust is exploding and everything. And he's driving and he's going, it cost me $14 on a record player, for this thing. And then they go down a hill and he goes, yell at that dude on the bike to get out of the way because I got no brakes. And he goes, you got no brakes? He goes, blow your horn. He goes, I ain't got one. And he goes, ain't got one. And then you got George Segal sticking his head out of the way. We've got no brakes. And then, it's just funny. That's the first one that I saw. Oh, man. I'm going to throw these in the garbage. These are like paint chips, probably. They're probably poisonous, like paint chips.
Keep smelling them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Man, I tell you, I don't know if one sniff could do you in.
You'll get a nice contact high.
Oh, I ain't high, man. It just bothered me. All right, so anyhow, let's start talking about if we picked up any movies or if we watched any movies.
Yeah.
Any pickups for either of you?
Yep.
Yeah. I know Tim doesn't usually pick them up unless you get a good deal. I don't blame you.
I'm getting bored of going to my thrift store 3 times a week and walking out with nothing 3 times a week. I'm getting, everybody used to say, "You thrift store, man. I wish I lived where you live." Yeah, well, you don't anymore. I can tell you that.
The pickings are slim.
I always said that too. I wish I lived where you did. All right, so then we'll skip over to Tom. What did you get, Tom? What movies did you get?
All right, well, last week we were here. I was hoping I'd have a movie to show, and guess when it came? The next day, Tuesday. So, but first up is the movie Carnal Knowledge.
Oh yeah, I need that.
Yeah, so this is Indicator. It is not. It is coded, so you need a region-free Blu-ray player to play this.
I said I don't need that.
Well, lucky for you, the greatest genre of all time is releasing it this month.
Kino Lorber?
No. Criterion will be releasing their own version of Carnal Knowledge. This is fantastic, though. I haven't checked to see if the special features on Criterion are going to be the same as this one, but I'm still going to pick up the Criterion one as well. But it had been a long time since I've watched Carnal Knowledge, so I was really looking forward to seeing it because I think Jack Nicholson plays one of his best pricks of all time in this movie.
Yeah, he does.
And Art Garfunkel is kind of equally a prick, but a little bit more subtle than Jack. But Candice Bergen, you got the lovely Anne Bancroft in this movie as well. I'm sorry, Anne Margaret.
Well, both of them. I like Anne Bancroft too.
Yeah, but she's not as voluptuous as Anne Margaret. So, anyways, but yeah, I like this movie a lot. So check that out.
Wait a minute, hold on. I got to do a little Archie Bunker with that. I always say that. Well, that was the dirtiest picture you took me to see, Edith. You're going to tell me that there's really people like that? How you doing? Wham, bam, into the sack. I thought it was a religious picture, Archie. Cardinal knowledge. Carnal. No, Edith. Carnal. I had to watch the whole picture like this. Nobody was sitting up.
As we know, the half off Criterion sale is still going on at Barnes and Noble, but also on Amazon. So I picked up another film that has the handmade films connection, and that's How to Get Ahead in Advertising from 1989. Now this is the same team that brought you a movie called With Nell and I a few years earlier. George Harrison and Dennis O'Brien put forth the money for this one. This one is good. It's just not as funny as With Nell and I, if you ever seen that one. So
no, but I hear a lot about that as well.
Yeah. couple good special features, and then the last one. This one I've always been curious about, but I know Quentin Tarantino speaks very highly of this film, and I thought, no, I'll give it a shot. And it's called Rolling Thunder. With William Devine and a early screen performance from Tommy Lee Jones. I don't know much about this movie, but I'm looking forward to. So it's so necessary. I mean, it was pretty much a blind buy for me. So, but I'm looking forward to checking it out.
But I like William Devane, so maybe I'd like it.
Tarantino named his film company after that film, so you would assume he probably likes it.
Yeah, a little bit.
You think?
No.
Oh, is that all she wrote?
It's for purchases. Yeah.
I only got one purchase, which I've ordered a lot of things online, and in the past I've said, "Boy, they're coming fast." But even without Amazon Prime, but they're not coming fast. They're really taking their time now. But one of them sneaked through.
Hey, there you go.
So finally, I got The Odd Couple, the movie, on Blu-ray, which it's an upgrade.
Yeah.
So it's it's something that I need. So there it is. Now here's an interesting thing. I went to the 4th of July barbecue and saw one of my nephews there. We got to talking about many things, including movies. And then he told me 2 horror movies that he really liked that he thinks I'll enjoy. And in the meantime, he's a big Bob Dylan fan, and he wanted to know what's the next couple of albums that I would suggest that he listen to. So I gave him the 2 suggestions, and he said, "Okay, I'll get on that. But if I weren't going to listen to those albums, then I'm going to pick 2 movies that I want you to see." And I'm thinking to myself, that's fair enough, except the fact that, of course, an album is a lot shorter than a movie. But anyway, and he said, "I'll try to find a way to get you these movies." And what do you know? That was on July 4th. On July 6th, they arrived from Prime, Amazon Prime. He shipped them to me. And these were the movies, which I haven't seen either one. So let's see. One of them is this.
Oh, yep.
Jordan Peele, Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm recognizing her, though, already, I think. And that's what I think it is. Can't see it, the print. And the other one is Hereditary, which I think people have.
I love that movie.
Yeah. People suggested I see this.
Yeah.
So, and then I said, "Well, what did you think of the Demi Moore one?" And I guess that's The Substance.
Yeah.
He wasn't wild about it, but his girlfriend liked it.
Oh.
Go figure. You can't agree on everything all the time, right?
True.
So, that's that. Let's see. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Saw it. Don't understand it. Well, a lot of people don't understand. For Joe and Tim, do you understand it? I asked Tom already. I don't think there's much to understand. I don't understand it really. I don't know if it's open to interpretation. The only thing is, I always say, when I saw it, I caught it really late in life. I didn't catch it early, and I thought that the effects were still mesmerizing. I thought the effects were pretty good. And I watched it like 2:00 in the morning or something. And the scene when Hal starts to get wise or whatever and starts to them and they get scared of it, that was a scary scene. But the end, all the stuff at the end, I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Did you ever see the 2010?
Yeah.
Is that it? Good?
I saw the 2010 movie before I saw 2001, only because I was I'm a victim of the HBO showing films every other film it's the same movie over and over again. So I had seen that movie a couple times, but I was 10 or 11, so really didn't pick up on it. But it was probably in my later 20s I finally got around to seeing 2001. But I mean it's just just watch it. I mean, I don't necessarily buy into this. Yeah, you have to, understand, every movie that you see. I mean, it's a piece of art, is what I consider it.
Well, that movie's considered, I mean, a classic and a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can get by on it. I mean, the one time that I did see it, I got by on it because it was artsy and it was state of the art. And it was incredible for the time. I mean, so I was able to watch it for that. But as far as sometimes you don't care if there's any story or anything you can decipher what the hell's going on. Other times you want it, I guess. So
I saw it later too, and I thought it was boring. I didn't understand it. And I was getting reminded of the first Star Trek movie because some of the special effects scenes just went on and on and
Yeah.
on. And I was just, oh my God, is this ever going to stop? Um, I get why people like it. It's just not my cup of tea.
yeah, first time I saw even Forbidden Planet, I thought that was an early example from the 50s of something like that for its time. Effects. Look at the effects. Look at this. Look at that. Look what we can do. Look at, on and on and
Yeah.
on. That kind of thing too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I do like. My whole thing is I like a story and I like good characters mainly.
Yeah.
There's exceptions. Sometimes I don't need a story, depending on the movie. If I'm gonna watch Jason Part 32, Friday the 13th.
I love good special effects, but they can't be the whole movie.
No,
Why can't I think of the name of this? What was the space movie with Sandra Bullock? That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Gravity. Gravity is
that
great.
was great.
It's less than 90 minutes long. It's a full special effects movie, but you don't even notice them. You believe you're in space. They're not showing off.
It doesn't give you time to do that either. I mean, it's such a fast pace that you don't have time to ask yourself whether or not you believe.
That's what I love about the very beginning isn't fast paced. I don't like that. It starts out not real slow, but kind of slow. But as soon as the asteroids come, now we're speeding up quite a bit. Great movie though.
Yep.
Okay, have any of you picked anything up from Criterion sale? I know somebody.
You must have just joined right as I was showing. Yeah, so I am. Last week I picked up Downhill Racer, which is Robert Redford, Gene Hackman. This turned out to be really, really good. Really like the setup. And then I watched the Godzilla and Biollante.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this too. I mean, there's a few a few WTF moments, in here, but
I haven't seen it in a long time. It's like a plant, right? It's
yeah,
a plant monster. And
the plant that's supposed to, feed off of nuclear. What's the word I'm looking for? Nuclear. I don't know what they are. Nuclear energy.
Waste.
Or waste or whatever. And then how to get ahead in advertising. So those were the three that I picked up within last 2 weeks.
Well, so let's start you off. You were talking about what you've seen. So let's start with you for that one. Godzilla versus Biollante, the Italian monster.
Right. Yeah. But that was like a really nice image because it looked like it was part what do we call real features, real special? What do we? I mean,
practical effects.
Practical effects, and then it also looked like part matte painting as well.
Yeah.
So I mean that was kind of cool. The special effects were, when the Biollante comes to life and it's swinging its tentacles or vines or whatever, however you want to call it at the beginning of the when it comes to life, it was kind of cheesy a little bit. And then, the hand puppets as the tentacles are coming, coming at Godzilla, and that was kind of a little silly. But all in all, you look at this thing, when it first comes to being, you're like, how on earth is it going to fight Godzilla? But yeah, they do it. And again, it's just like a fun little cheesy film. I had no problems with it.
What about the human story? I mean, that's the one with the girl's mind reads or something. She can predict.
So yeah, right, and she's able to, tell that at the beginning of the movie, Godzilla's living in a volcano, apparently, and then she could tell that he's back to life or he's moving. So there's that, and then there's also this other character whose name I'm forgetting, but her soul is inside of Biollante as well.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good touch.
Yeah. So
did you watch it subtitled?
Actually, Yeah, there's because it's subtitled because there is some English in it, and then there's the rest is Japanese. So when obviously there's subtitles, all over the movie because there's subtitles for the English part of it for the Japanese fans, and then when they're speaking Japanese, then you can see the subtitles in here that Criterion put forth, for this disc.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But when you get to the special features, they're all talking Japanese, so I didn't really watch much of the special features.
But they weren't. They didn't have subtitles or anything for it. They could just have them straight Japanese with no subtitles. The features.
You mean an English track or
well, in English, somebody
a
talking
dub track?
over them or anything, a dub track or
no. There's no dub tracks. There's no dub tracks. There's no. It's in its proper language of Japanese and English.
No, I'm talking about the extra features.
Oh no. Well, you can read the subtitles.
Yeah.
For the special features, but they don't dub them in English or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't think they would go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I say, I still like a lot of the 60s and 70s ones, which I grew up with the dubbing. I think a lot of them are like when Tim watched King Kong versus Godzilla from 63, I think, last time, there's like the English version, American version, puts in language that's not the real language. Like there's a part when I don't know, they're on an island or something, and there's one guy he's always getting upset and scared, like he wants to go home. So originally in the Japanese version, he always goes like, let's go home, like that. It's in the Japanese version, but they changed it to my corns hurt. He's like, let's go home, my corns hurt whenever they're near a monster. And it was like a gag that they wrote in. Like there's no such gag in the original movie. It kind of cracked me up when I watched it. So what else did you see, Tom, if anything?
Well, yeah, and then I watched Downhill Racer. Like I said, this was starring Robert Redford as a skier who's preparing to compete in the Olympics, but they show all of his, a lot of his competitions leading up to the Olympics, and like Gene Hackman, he's the coach, which is kind of weird because they look like, I think they're similar in age at that point in time. But Robert Redford, he's a cocky, arrogant, he thinks he knows it all, kind of athlete. Gene Hackman, he's, your basic coach that, gets on him, as you do in these sports movies. But like I said, it's really interesting. It's just like when I went to go see F1 and how they do their camera shots, and, you can tell that they got the, stunt doubles in there filming all of these, professional skiers in there filming as they're going down these large slopes. And stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Michael Ritchie is the director. I know he's got a lot of movies that he directed. Again, this is just a fun movie. I mean, Robert Redford talks about the independent film, and then after this, he kind of started the Sundance Film Festival because of getting these smaller movies off the ground, as if you will. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And then I did go to the theater last week. I was kind of, little under the influence of alcohol, and I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go to the theater, and I went to go see the new Jurassic Park film, and let's just say that, yeah.
What's that mean?
I mean, they'll never be able to compare another Jurassic Park to the first one. If you like the Jurassic Park movies, I don't think they'll ever compare to the first one. Just the excitement and the wonder and the effects of the first one, which came out over 30 years since this new one. And it's just it's nowhere near as exciting. The stories, I think, are just, take a nosedive after, and this is the first one that I've seen since the original. And I don't think I'll ever see another one again.
I never saw the original, but I saw one of the sequels, and it was one of the later sequels.
Yeah.
And I just don't need it. It's just me. It's not my thing.
Yeah. But I was just looking for some brainless entertainment, and that's what it was.
I just thought of this when we were saying about and I said I don't need it. It's not my thing. Then I thought of Star Wars, and then I thought of Gus Lopez. Does that name ring a bell to you, Gus Lopez, at all, Tom, as a Star Wars guy?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. When I made my last video with Mikey Arugula.
Oh, okay. Was that
his
that
friend
Star Wars?
Gus Lopez is in there, who wrote 5 Star Wars books, has an amazing collection and a museum with all the costumes and outfits and everything.
Nice.
And that's his big thing. It's his big thing. In addition to he collects Beatles too, but he's also Star Wars expert. And he was on that show Collector's Call with Lisa Webb.
I remember now. Yeah, I still hadn't seen it, but I saw him in the thumbnail. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Anything else, Tom?
Well, those are the films that I've watched this past week.
Okay.
And Carnal Knowledge, I watched that one as well.
Carnal Knowledge, sure. Which is, I love that movie too. It's a great movie. Yeah. It's rising. Rita Moreno, I have no problem.
Yeah. There's the great scene though with was it Carol Kane? What's her name? I'm forgetting her name, but she was in the movie towards the end. Somebody mentioned her name.
Carol Kane.
Yeah, Carol Kane. Well, anyways, here's Art Garfunkel, who's married. Pretty much, starting from the second half, and he marries Susan, the Candice Bergen character, that him and Jack Nicholson fight over at the beginning of the film. So here he is, married to her, but yet he's always with another woman, whenever, he's getting together with Jack Nicholson. So he's with the Carol Kane film. And I think this is kind of like in the 70s now, because it goes from the 40s to the 70s, but he's with Carol Kane, and Jack's showing him pictures of all of his conquests.
How did that get in there? I don't know who that.
And then Susan, the Candice Bergen character, is in the picture slide. And then and then it ends, and then you see the Carol Kane. You see her just get up from the couch and then just walk out. She doesn't even have a speaking part. She just gets up and walks out.
What does he call those? Those are his ball busters.
Yeah, ball busters. Yes.
Right. Yes. Yeah, it's coming back to me. I gotta get an upgrade of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a moment here before we get to Tim. I just want to catch up a little bit here. I went back too far. Yeah, there. Carol Kane is in the movie. Exactly. Yep. Okay. Hereditary will change you. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
And I think somewhere Henry said I would really like it. I forget where, but oh, that's nice. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Tom Hunyadi is the GOAT. I do.
Get out of there.
Yeah. Tom Hyundai.
Yes. Hyundai.
Did you like the Chucky movies?
Never watched one of them.
I have them all back there that I bought a couple of years ago, but I saw Bride of Chucky, and it was utterly ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, actually, that is the correct way of spelling it. And if you were like in Hungary with an I, I think they changed it when people came here to the States. They changed it, but
yeah, I saw 2001 in the 60s in CinemaScope, which is the reason why we experience it. Yeah, that's the kind of thing, if you can see it in a big giant theater.
Yeah.
I would love to show you the Jaws bucket. Which one? But I showed it at the beginning. But
show the real one.
The weird thing is, like I say, I'm liking the look of the fake one a little bit too. This is the real one I just bought, by the way. You might have missed that. I just bought the real one at the AMC theater, so I'm happy now. Here's the real one. Here's the real one.
I'm happy until the next thing I need.
Yeah. So just open that mouth up there, put your popcorn in there, start going. Which I'm not going to use, but I might use it for popcorn. I don't know, but I don't think so. And I love the click. That's how you know you got the real one. Click. All right. So anyway, here's where Henry said it. You're gonna love Hereditary. It's hands down the scariest film I've seen besides The Exorcist. It's a modern horror classic.
I think so. I mean, there are a couple scenes where you're like, oh, or at least I was. There was by the second half of the movie, I became petrified a few times watching that movie.
Matte paintings are more practical than not practical these days. Man. Hereditary's not scary. Dare I say overrated?
Oh well.
Tom Hyundai, did you like Kids from '95?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen the film, but I mean, it's disturbing too. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I have the 1991, the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, which is another one I recommend. I like that one. That's the one after Biollante. Not in English or Japanese, no subtitles, and in German. Okay, well, Rocky's coming up again. Put it to you this way: I saw Rocky 3 in the movie theaters like 2 or 3 times. I loved that movie when I saw it. I saw it when I was like 20 years old in the movies, and I just ate it up. And I thought Mr. T was so funny in it and everything. I think it's a little corny now or something, but I like the idea that Rocky was losing his mojo and his confidence in it, and he had to build himself up again. I really like that about it. I don't remember loving 4. I don't remember loving 4. 5 is, people say, is like the worst.
It's the worst. It is the worst. It is the worst.
I've seen all. Up to. Well, I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I saw Rocky Balboa, which was pretty good, considering it came late. I didn't see any of the Creed movies, but I'm up for a rewatch of all of them. So now, come on, Henry. We must have had this a million times. Come on.
Enough.
Yeah. Crimes and misdemeanors.
I'm not even going to answer the question.
Yeah, all right.
I don't even know. Zelig, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, probably here too.
The new Jurassic Park was horrid.
Yep.
Do they have what's the name in there? Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. She is now, believe this or not, with this film, with the
she's collecting booze bucks already.
Booze bucks. She is now the highest grossing film actress, whatever you want to say, of all time. Her films have now grossed more money than anybody else's films in history.
They could have picked any director for the new Bond, and they picked the best director working today. I have tons of optimism. Well, you got to get a good story, and you got to be faithful to the original Bond source.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what I care about. I don't care if Tim Allen here directed the movie.
I would have been happy with Christopher Nolan as well, because I think between him and Denis Villeneuve, who is going to be directing that, I think they both can tell a great story, and just from their track record alone, So, but yeah, I've seen it, and then I've got tickets to see the movie this Thursday. So I'm looking forward.
I've seen the trailer and I don't like it, and I have not. But I didn't want to see it even before the trailer. What's with that S? You can't just do a regular S anymore. It's got to be this kind of like.
Why does everything got to be the same?
Because it's tried and true. I don't know. And I heard him say, "Truth, justice, and the American way" doesn't work for me. The actor.
I don't recall that.
It said, truth, justice, and everybody, something like that. Again, so many rumors online too, but supposedly he didn't look good. And then I heard that line, "Truth, justice, the American way," doesn't really go with the character originally. That came from the TV show or something. I know Probably. It's in the TV show.
Yeah,
but beautiful thing. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. He already crushed him. He already made him nothing like I want to see him. He crushed the old like Luthor. Yeah. Well, we'll see. All right. Well,
that's it, everyone. No, it's kidding.
We got lots to do yet, and Of course, you're going to give us a full report, Tom, when you see.
Oh, next Monday. Yeah, sure.
And I still haven't gone. I don't even know if they're in the theater anymore. I still haven't gone to see. I don't think I want to see Megan 2 because I've heard nothing but shit about it. And I know you got to. I know you. I agree. You got to see it for yourself. I've liked movies people didn't like, for sure.
Well, they change genres.
Yeah, and that's okay too sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I want to see this her being like more super heroic and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
They compared it to Terminator 2.
Yeah,
But I like Terminator. That was a great idea. That was fantastic idea that they did that. I thought they made Arnold's Terminator this time was the good Terminator, not the bad one. They're all, you program them any way you want. So
right. Yeah, I was gonna see. This is Spinal Tap tonight for the 41st anniversary.
Yeah, you almost didn't make it.
Yeah, well, I didn't make it.
Well, I mean, to this show, you almost didn't.
Yeah. I was pretty certain, but once I got done with work earlier, I just just go home. I wasn't feeling it.
Well, of course, it's better to be here.
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in the theater in a long time. I saw it in the theater several times when it came out.
You're right about that. I could like the new Superman. I might. Who knows? But I'm not interested enough to see it though. I might like it. Too bad for me if I miss out.
I'm the same. I could care less about any superhero movie. I always say I'm an adult. No offense to people that like comic books and stuff, but I'm an adult. I've been an adult for 25 years.
No, I don't know with that.
25, 45.
I agree that you're an adult. I don't say that. I mean, it doesn't.
I'm not interested.
It's all right.
All right. So it's not for you. Well, let's see some of the movies that are for you, Tim.
Well, this week, I'm embarrassed now. I've never said that.
Hold on a minute, Tim. Were you an adult when the first Superman came out, 1978? Did you see that one?
Technically, no.
No. I didn't go to see movies when I was a kid. We didn't have the money to go see movies when I was a kid. But I wasn't interested even then. I've never liked Superman. Superman was never like. The TV show was okay, but it was cheesy, and
Oh God!
I was a Batman guy. I did go see the first Batman.
Cheesy Batman,
but I didn't see the second. Oh, I did see the second one. I didn't see any after that though. I wasn't interested anymore.
Henry, you don't need to try to convince Joe. Joe's already got his mind made up.
Well, don't say that. I don't appreciate that. But the thing that isn't always true in every case, but in some cases it is. But this thing, like I said, this is a new DC. I don't care about the new franchise. That's what people keep reminding me of. I want the Hulk to be the Hulk from the 60s and the 70s. That's what I want. The one in the comics. But I realize people tell me, well, Hulk was not like that anymore. All right, well, tough. You know what I mean? Those were the best Hulks. Those were the classic days. Everybody knows it. The classic stories. I don't know if they call it the Bronze Age, whatever age it is. Those are the golden ones, and all the stories and everything. But okay, fine. And as far as Lex Luthor, they want everybody's got to be young today. You put them in a movie, it's got to always get the young audiences in there because they can't take a guy that's like 45 or something.
They're the only movies that make money. And that's the sad thing, they have to keep pumping. At this point, they have to keep pumping out the tentpole movies because those are the only movies that keep the studios afloat and allow the other movies to be made. So,
and they need to stay young. I mean, they need to be young, especially if these films are successful and they want to have a 10 to 15 year run.
How about some other villain? I don't even know much about Superman, but for God's sake, how about another villain?
Yeah,
it's always got to be him.
There's a couple in this besides Lex Luthor in the film. There's more than Luthor, but I agree. Yeah, I mean, because he's the main mastermind villain in the Superman universe. But obviously you can choose others. There's other great. Brainiac is another one. Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Yeah. And there's one example where I would have taken a younger person in a movie, which is a change for me, and that is in Soylent Green. Soylent Green, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, etc., etc. And I love Charlton Heston, and he's in there. He plays a cop that doesn't. He's too young to remember the way the world used to be before everything went sour. And Edward G. Robinson is his partner who in crime. Well, not crime. That's stupid. He's a cop, and Edward G. Robinson is an investigator. He calls himself a book. Edward G. Robinson is a book who remembers the past. But anyway, Edward G. Robinson's the old guy in his 60s or maybe early 70s who remembers the world the way it was. And this naive, fresh cop played by Charlton Heston, who actually turned 50 when he made the movie. He was, or he was going to be 50 when they were shooting it, I guess. I guess that's the way. He's 49 going on 50 when they were shooting it. To me, I love that he's in it. But I would have taken like a young, Leonardo DiCaprio type back from, he's kind of older now himself, right, Leonardo? But whenever he was like Titanic era, or like I would have taken a young, fresh kind of guy because it fits more if the cop is more like, 25 years old or something like that, where behind the ears, not so much 49, in that role. But anyway, I went off on a tangent.
Tim, what about your films?
Well, first, I need a disclaimer because everybody knows I watch more serious films. I like films that could actually happen, about people and stories that could actually happen, which is why I don't watch superhero movies and space movies and all this stuff.
That's all right.
But having said that, all the movies I watched this week are movies that just are silly movies that I normally wouldn't watch. I guess I was just in a mood. And the first one, Joe's been talking about Jaws and its 50th anniversary so much that I just had to watch this.
Oh, I've never seen that.
That's a serious movie. I mean, that could happen.
Yeah. But you know what? I did not hate this movie. This movie is, this is the definition of a popcorn movie. This is the definition that you suspend all disbelief, and you just watch the silly movie. And I even watched it again because it had a commentary. 3 of the 4 movies I watched have a commentary. It's like, so that cuts my movie watching in half because I got to watch it again the next night.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm an adult, so I don't watch films like that. So,
well, no, but
I just tease.
It's for the most part. I mean, I'm not.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, I know, Tim. I'm just teasing you.
And I've had this for years, and I never watched it. I finally pulled it out and watched it, and it's just silly nonsense. But I didn't hate it. I'm not interested in the sequels. Okay, franchise it all you want. I'm not interested in the sequels. And then talk about silly and talk about maybe too old to play the part. I watched Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh, yeah.
With Evan Costello. And it's good, but if they had made it 10 or 15 years earlier, it would have been better.
They did a real big restoration on that.
I know. But this looks pretty good. I was surprised that this looked as good as it does.
Yeah, I think it's one of their worst movies, personally. But
I think it's okay. And forget the princess. I thought this woman right here was gorgeous.
Hold on, who was that?
She was the slave of the giant, and she also played the secretary at the employment place when he goes at the beginning. And I like that. I like the fact that it was like Wizard of Oz. It started out in black and white and then went to color. I like that whole thing.
I think they only made 2 color films. That's one of them.
Yeah. But no, this wasn't bad. It's not great or anything, but it had a commentary, and I watched the commentary.
I fear nothing. That's Jack says that.
No, or wait, this is the one that did it. No, this didn't have a commentary. It had a bunch of special features. Did not have a commentary. And then the box for this is put away, but because of the passing of Michael Madsen, I'm like, I gotta watch something. So I watched Hell Ride again.
Hell Ride.
This is a great movie. If you like 60s, early 70s biker movies, this may be the best 60s, 70s biker movie ever made, only it was made, 2008.
Yeah.
Just because they could do all the things that they couldn't do in the 60s and 70s. There's tons of nudity, the violence is the blood,
Well, then
and
I'm gonna have to pick that one up.
oh no, Hellride is great. And Michael Madsen is great. He plays this guy called the Gent, and he wears a tuxedo through the whole movie. He's a biker wearing a tuxedo, and it's perfect. It just works so well. But he's not their leader. It is a really good movie. I recommend Hellride strongly. Came out in 2008. The lead guy that wrote it, I've forgotten his name now, but also wrote the screenplay and directed the film. And wrote the part. He's like, I've been a writer for years, but I don't write parts for people. But he wrote Michael Madsen's part for Michael Madsen. He's like, this is the only person in my life I've ever written a part for, and I wrote it for him.
He's an auteur.
Because and it's a great film. And just today, I only watched half of this double feature, so we'll be hearing about this tomorrow or next week. This is one of Joe's favorites. I watched Thunderbirds Are Go.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. It's puppets.
Those Thunderbirds. I got you.
It's the Thunderbirds.
Oh yeah.
I was just in a mood today. I'm like, what am I gonna watch? And I'm like, I haven't watched this. And you know what? I liked it better this time than I ever have. I think it's amazing filmmaking that they could make it look as real as they do with puppets. And all miniatures, and there's no special effect shots as far as everything they film is real. It's tiny, but it's real, and I just think it's an excellent job and a really nice film. I watched the special features. I will be watching the commentary. Sylvia Anderson does the commentary, and Joe, it's on your favorite movie label.
Oh God, how could they do that?
That's all I watched this week. I only watched these 4 films because 3 of them had commentaries, or 2 of them, whatever. But yeah,
very good, very good.
I see, said the blind man. I forget what I was going to say. Anyone seen the? I don't think I've seen them, but I've heard of them. I know those are the ones like Tonight I'll Take Your Soul or Possess Your Corpse, and all. There's different ones. Tonight I'll Possess Your Corpse. Tonight I'll Take Your Soul. All these different kinds of titles.
They used to have at the video store I went to that it was a whole house. I forget what the video vault. It was a whole house, a 3-story house, and it was nothing but movies. Every room had its own genre, and they had all the Coffin Joe movies. But to me, they're just movies made just to push the envelope to see how far they could go, and that's it. That's the only reason, and that's not my thing. See how gruesome we can make this. And I'm like, not
that's
really.
cool. Sometimes, come on, man.
Yeah, but a whole series of movies just to do that. Forget the story, forget the plot, forget anything. Let's just see how gross we can be. Nah, not my thing.
Herschel Gordon Lewis, Blood Feast.
Coffin Joe did way, way, way beyond that kind of stuff.
It's all dusty on the top. It's underneath you.
Because he wasn't in America. He was a Spanish filmmaker, so he didn't have the confines that we had in America. So
I'm going to tell you, I know I mentioned this before, but this Jaws thing, this phony Jaws one, I told you, I opened it up. I just was curious to smell it, deep breath inside a couple of times. What the hell is that? It smells awful. And I'm like, this is 3 hours ago, and it's still bothering me in here. You think that could be a bad thing? Well, I will. Well, I'm afraid to throw it away because it looks. I like the shark's design. It's better.
Why don't you just send it back and get your money back because it's broken, and then you'll be rid of it and you'll have your money back.
I'm still not sure I want to get rid of it.
But it
Well-
stinks, and you're
Well, it doesn't. Not unless you put your head in there. But I got these pieces just sitting here on the desk for now that came from the inside of it. And as much I don't know. I'm not a wealthy man, but I don't like worry about like $20, $30 too much. But I could use it. I'm just like wonder. These look like something else. I better turn it this way.
Jaws 3D.
Yeah, just so much lighter. The official one is so much lighter. Wait a minute. We're at 1 hour. The 1 hour mark, folks. Smile, everybody. It's going to be the thumbnail. I don't know if you look at them, the thumbnail. As long as I look good in the thumbnail, I don't care what you guys look like. No, that's why sometimes I go around. I look for like the right shot, and sometimes everybody will be smiling. And sometimes like somebody be like, "Yeah." I'm just wondering, could you get a cancer just by breathing one time? You have to be around it a lot. Trauma? You mean Trauma? The company?
Toxic Avenger.
Mother's Day.
I've never seen one. Believe it. Again, not my.
I dare you to watch Mother's Day, Tom. And you still got to see Death Trap with Michael Caine.
Okay, well, now listen to this. Okay, next week I'll have a movie to show. It's one of your favorite movies from 1973.
Westworld.
Yes. and it's funny too because I saw in an asinine comment from one of your I shouldn't say that, but it was just asinine to me. And the guy said I stopped watching movies when CGI became prominent or something like that. And I said, well, then you stopped watching movies after Westworld because that's when the first CGI.
Well, they weren't prominent. I know a friend of mine that really hates new movies. I mean, he hated movies in the 80s. And he said...
he hates?
Yeah. And he said that you can forget about Terminator 2. That's the thing that started it all. And I said that he's right. That's when it really went overkill with that kind of like CG grafting, kind of morphing stuff. But the thing is, it worked in that particular plot with the liquid metal or whatever. I mean,
plus it looked good. It looked good.
At the time, I thought it was so cool. I didn't know they were going to do it for every damn thing. Well, let's see now. Do we have anything before I go to my movie? I watched one movie just within the last couple of days.
You were able to stay up for it?
Yeah. It was about 8 o'clock, but it doesn't matter what the time is. It could be 11 o'clock in the morning. I could get drowsy watching a movie. Anyway, it's a movie I've seen once before, but not in many, many years. Classic. And it's was on TCM. And we just happened to turn it on at the beginning, and I figured, my girlfriend and I could watch this together. I think she saw bits of it. It is Night of the Hunter. So it was on, and and I really I think it's a great movie, but this is only the second time I've seen it, and it's amazing to me how some parts of it I thought were like unintentionally funny, or maybe they weren't supposed to be. I don't know, chasing the kids up the stairs from the cellar or something. They're going, come here, and closing, ow, on his fingers and stuff. I don't know. Some of it was, I was like, it was a little unintentionally funny, but anyway, it's a very stylish movie. It's got a great atmosphere to it and style, camera work and everything. Just like Citizen Kane is so well done, And I didn't realize, I knew it was directed by Charles Lawton. It's the only movie that he directed. But at the end, when they were talking about it on TCM, Mankiewicz was describing how, I think it was him, or maybe it was Joe Dante was the guest. I think Joe Dante said it. Joe Dante said that he was so turned off, Lawton, by making this movie, the whole thing he encountered with this movie, that he never did another movie, because he actually, it was mostly the aftermath of it, right? Like, it was a flop, and he got horrible reviews, and they didn't appreciate all he was trying to do, and he got so turned off to the whole thing that he never would make another movie. And I guess he didn't live for it to become a classic. To see that it's renowned these days, and that the people weren't ready for it back then, or something, you know. But Robert Mitchum, you know, I mean, he's great.
It's a great role. He's fantastic.
You know, and Shelley Winters too. Even though it's not he's not through in the whole movie, but she's really good in there. And I don't know. I was trying to ask myself afterwards if it's a movie. I think it's on your favorite label, Tom.
It is.
I was thinking, this is what's starting to happen to me. I'm like, do I think I want to see it again? And that's the question. I've seen it twice, and as I get older, I'm like, well, do I think I'm going to see it again? I mean, I might watch something stupid like I don't know, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or something corny like that over and over and over throughout my life, but I won't see Night of the Hunter a third time, maybe. You know, I don't know, for whatever reason. Why would I want to see it again? But I might. I'm going to think about getting it. Or a movie like Convoy, for example, is another. If you know, I never saw Convoy, but that's an example of.
I watched Convoy last year. I liked Convoy. I thought
is that the one?
Better than I thought it would be.
Is that the one with Chris Christopherson?
Yeah, and Ally McGraw.
Ally McGraw, yeah.
I thought it was. I think it was one of the titles. There was so many. There were a lot of titles possible for Jaws, and that was one of them. But I was thinking it was tongue in cheek. Who's that notching on my leg? I wanted to watch a Michael Madsen movie. Yeah, Michael Madsen is supposed to be one of the Vega brothers.
Yeah,
the brother from Pulp Fiction. That whole thing, they're supposed to all be somehow intertwined.
Well, look at what they're wearing. Look at Travolta's wearing, and look at Madsen's wearing.
Yeah,
you know, it's almost like they're part of the same core, same group.
Did you ever see that movie Species?
Yeah, that was terrible though.
I might
he's in it too.
Yeah, he's in it, and I saw that in the movie theater. But I'm thinking, I haven't seen it since then. I'm thinking, I wonder if it's good enough to own, considering that he's in there. If I would like to see it anymore, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one of the movies that I like that I really like that's not Quentin Tarantino related was Donnie Brasco. That he was really good. I thought he was pretty good in.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one yet, but I did pick it up. So I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, I was going to talk about Author. That doesn't count. Yeah, I didn't see too much of that. The Pacino movie. So at the movie theaters, Author. I don't know what I was doing in there at that age. I was too young for that, I thought. But it was on TV. I watched some of it. But that does, you know, I don't like watching movies just on TV. Turner is a different story because they just show you the whole thing without commercial interruptions. Yeah, well, somebody mentioned this to me recently, Nightmare, and and I don't know, because I feel like I've seen it, because in the 80s I was going to the theater to see movies like that a lot, and the title Nightmare, though, a lot of movies could be called that, but so I don't know if we're thinking of the same one, you know. So, and we've still been my girlfriend and I together going through our childhood watching the Brady Bunch series. We're on season 2, and we got to the one that everybody now makes fun of, you know, because it's funny. Goofy with
my nose.
Well, that's one. Not that one yet, but that's all these things they actually put together in the Brady Bunch movie with her nose. The one about Jan when she's jealous of Marcia. Now, I was waiting for her to say the Marcia line in there, and she didn't say it. I hope it's not like Play It Again, Sam, or Oh, You Dirty Rat. All these things that they say, they never really said. I mean, unless there's 2 of them, unless there's later on is another episode that does that.
I think there is. He really did say Marcia at some point.
Yeah, because I could hear her saying it, and because this one did not have her wearing the big wig. She tries to she wears this huge wig in one of them to try to improve herself, but in the one we watched, the second season one. She just invents a boyfriend, Tom Glass. George Glass. No, not George. What's your boyfriend's name? George. George what? And she looks over and sees a glass on the table. Glass.
Yeah.
But
Kind of
I
like
just
going back to the other thing is it's like I know Jimmy Cagney said that he had never said, you
right,
dirty rat,
yeah. And they get things mixed up, and it's like not frankly Scarlet, it's frankly my dear. I think
Right.
you know stuff like that people say over the years. But
Yeah.
but
And your
definitely
little
in
dog
Jaws they do
Toto
say
too. That was never said either. It's your little
what,
dog too. There's no Toto in the line.
Right.
what did she say? Yeah, your little dog too. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
No,
no Toto.
well, I never heard them use that. People say that. I
Well,
mean, people
I
say
have
that.
people always say it's your little dog Toto too, but no, it's just your
No, no,
little
no,
dog.
no, no, no.
No Toto in there.
Oh, maybe they get it mixed up with the Good Witch at the end when they're going home. And Toto too, Toto too. Oh boy, help me, Lord. Yes, indeed, Henry. This is true. This is true. I to think I was even a year or two younger than you when I saw it in the theater.
All right. Finally, a somewhat intelligent comment from Henry. All right, Henry. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Yeah,
just
but
teasing.
not
just
everybody
teasing.
in that movie blossomed.
Yeah.
Oh, they blossomed, but they didn't.
Yeah,
Didn't necessarily go on the
they
great
blossom
careers.
more from this movie. So
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? There's more people working from Fast Times than there are from American Graffiti. I mean, Sean Penn, Nicolas Cage, and Forrest Whitaker has calculate. I mean, they've built a really good filmography.
I don't know. I saw it in the movie theater. I remember hating
I
it.
never saw Grease 2.
Except I
I'm
thought
not
she
sure
was
I've
hot
ever
in there.
seen Grease all the way
Yeah.
through. I've seen parts of it. It's just not my thing. It's
There's
just,
a great great
cheesy,
song. Yeah. There's a
fake
great song in
50s
them.
music.
Over.
I know. There's a great one of the it's a bad movie, but I love one of the songs where they're singing about "Let's do it for our country," where they want to have sex, and they're trying to convince themselves to have sex in a song. So it's pretty funny. And yeah, Oliver Stone film, yeah, with the young Joaquin Phoenix. Wait a second, don't go anywhere.
Oh, you mean you don't have it right there handy?
All right, here it is, The Wiz.
Oh, those horrible Criterion covers.
I you know what? I do not. I don't recommend the movie. I really don't. I only got it for nostalgia reasons. Like we do sometimes. I was watching this a couple weeks ago, and I'm just like, this is terrible. The songs are all right, but in general, it's terrible.
If you didn't know anything about that movie, you'd think it was about a guy urinating on a tree.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, Richard, you're right. That's like one of my favorite lines in that song. Let's do it for our country. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't like the movie Grease. I just hate Grease anyway.
No, it's just not my thing. Again, I didn't like Saturday Night Fever either, so just not my thing.
Well, he did all the music. He did the score.
So he's not infallible then, huh?
Right. No. So I mean, he did the score. So besides, yeah. I think this is the movie they introduced him to, or did they already do Off the Wall by this point in time? Him and Michael Jackson.
No, this is before Off the Wall.
This was the movie. Yeah, this was the movie they introduced those two. I'm sure.
Tim, what is your thing? Seems like everything isn't your thing. Here's Henry for you. How about film noir?
I like older movies mainly because they made movies. I already said it about real life things, relationships, things about people that could really happen. I don't want to see a movie about some superhero flying by to stop the asteroid that's going to kill the Earth because that's not going to happen. I have
What?
no relationship to that.
Don't you have anything considered a sense of wonder? Don't you have a sense of wonder? No.
To me, that stuff isn't a sense of wonder. It's just silly.
Well,
you don't think Sharknado is silly?
Sharks.
Well, you just said that Sharknado was silly,
Of course that was silly.
Sharknado was silly, but yet you're okay watching that.
I watched it. I wasn't flaunting it. I bought it probably 10 years ago.
You said it was
just
good.
got around to watching it. Okay.
I'm not with Tim. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both. I like movies that I can relate to, that touch a nerve, that's like real life drama or problems or things we can relate to.
The problem today is I don't think most movies, especially tentpole and comic book movies and all this kind of stuff, have enough character development. You don't care about the character. I want to identify with at least the main character, if not all the characters.
Please watch a few current films before you say that comment, Tim.
Well, I'm talking tentpole movies. Again, I'm talking Superman and the Magnificent Four or whatever. I'm talking those sorts of movies. I'm talking movies about
Fantastic Seven.
I'm talking Transformers and things like that people love. They just have zero character development, zero. They're just
right.
Yeah, there's nothing there. I don't care. Movies where there are movies where the hero gets killed at the end, and you could just care less, or they don't get killed. It doesn't matter. Either way, you wouldn't have cared. I don't get that. I want to care about the main character. I want to like them. I don't have to like everybody in the film, but I want to like somebody. And that's the other thing. The film has to be likable. If there are films that were made a long time ago where every character in the film is despicable, and those are hard films to like because you want to identify, at least I want to identify with someone. And if you can't, then, it's hard to get into the film because you just hate everybody.
Well, there's times when I like a film because I can identify with the character, and other times I like films where I don't. But I don't know. Yeah, it's not always one size for me fits all, as I say, because sometimes I'll say, "Oh, that's so stupid, that movie." And another time I like a movie because it's stupid. Yeah. So I mean, who knows, or whatever. Happens to me all the time. I don't have the same rule for every movie all the time.
And they don't have to be based in reality or anything like that. One of my favorite movies is John Woo's The Killer from 1989. This guy is a contract killer. That's what he does for a living. Yet you like him. You want him to survive. That's hard to do. You don't find that anymore. The good-hearted guy that kills people for a living. You don't find that.
Leon the Professional.
No, that was a good movie. That movie, though, you have to see Leon the Professional. Just don't see The Professional. They've caught like half an hour out of it, and it's not nearly as good.
So what do you think of something like, I'm assuming you've never seen Pulp Fiction, for example, or have you?
I've seen Pulp Fiction. It's not one of my favorites by him. It's okay. I didn't. There are parts of it I didn't understand. There are parts of it you're not supposed to understand, and that's okay. But it's not nearly my favorite by him.
Well, I just mean, but that's an example, I think, of a thing where they're not good guys, but yet somehow you like them.
Yeah, but no. There are exceptions. There are people. There are, but they're not tentpole. Pulp Fiction was not a tentpole movie, especially at the time. Now it's become a classic, but at the time it was this subversive film. But there are people like Wes Anderson that I love, but he doesn't make tentpole films. He makes these little movies that people go see, and I don't think I've ever liked a movie that costs like $300 million to make. I don't think I've ever liked one of them. Just not my.
You're gonna psychoanalyze. Wait a minute, home. You're gonna psychoanalyze me even on this discussion channel? Do good movies like Jaws have the same impact on repeat viewings, or is it just a different experience that's still impactful? I don't know. I guess the same impact. I don't repeat viewings.
I think movies change after you see it. If you remember them, they change because you know what's coming up. Doesn't make them worse, but they do change for you.
Yeah, John Aston's still alive.
Yeah.
Curious to see here. Oh, this thing about Thriller being the best-selling album. You can't tell me that Sgt. Pepper hasn't sold more than that has. But I don't know how they base it. Instant impact or something. Our original serious films are still being made, but the same people who complain about superhero films let the original films bomb and fade into obscurity.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I was saying before. That's why I'm not against tentpole movies. I'm not against making them. They're letting people make other movies. But I don't have to like them and enjoy them and go see them. They don't need my money.
Yeah, what does that mean? Tentpole. What does that mean? That term.
It's like when the circus comes to town. That's what it means. It's like an event. Movies are events. I don't know if it happens anymore. Remember, like 20 years ago, when you might have gone and gotten a pass for like $5 to go see a movie, but it didn't. You couldn't see this movie or this movie or this movie. They didn't count in the list of movies. Those are tentpole movies. The movies that were seen as a special event, and that's where the phrase tentpole comes from. It's like when the circus comes to town. It's a special event movie, and so many movies are tentpole movies these days.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that for sure. When I watched it on videotape, I noticed the shooting star in Jaws. Yeah. Oh yeah, my nephew also told me you recommended Oppenheimer, and I said no, that's okay. Yeah, see, I'm interested in these because they're horror ones, but yeah. Well, Oliver doesn't really count, does he? Everybody hates Cousin Oliver. He's not one of the regulars.
Oh, but Oliver was in Sharknado. That's one of the best things about it. Cousin Oliver also did the music for Sharknado. So,
we were mentioning, as we often do, The Wizard of Oz, and I was wondering, how do you feel, Tim, about The Wizard of Oz movie?
As far as what? I like The Wizard of Oz.
Well, I mean, that's all pretend and not
really.
Well,
yeah, but it's a dream.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah. and even if it wasn't, you care about Dorothy, and it was made in a different way than they are now. Now if they redid The Wizard of Oz, it would all be CGI for the most part. The little people would all be CGI little people, and it just wouldn't be nearly the same,
I guess I got to answer this question. If Oliver doesn't count because everybody hates Oliver, but out of the regular cast, I guess I got to go with Bobby. Wasn't John Hurd in Sharknado?
Yes, John Hurd was in Sharknado as well. Woo. He dies pretty quickly though because they couldn't afford him for very long. But
booze bucks.
No, but in the commentary they talk about him because he had a really bad back, and he had this bar stool. It was his favorite bar stool, and he brought it out of the bar when the bar got flooded. When the waves came in, it crushed the bar. He's like, it was really heavy, and he insisted on carrying it himself the whole time. And he's running down these stairs and everything with it. And they're like, it was really heavy. We were so concerned about him, but he was a trooper and carried that stool with him wherever he went. And they were like John Hurt.
Joe, put the shark on your finger and see if you can, make it spin like a tornado or a basketball.
I wanted to use this is a movie and TV channel, so I could use these things. Yeah, I'm looking for things here. What can I use? Well. How do you know I'd like it? Where did I get the shark head? People are tired of this. This one I got supposedly shipped from Walmart, which is a cheap knockoff and is not the real thing. These things just ready to see. This doesn't say snap close; it just like opens up. That is scary. And look how dark the gray is on this. I like that about it. And then I got this one at AMC Theater. I just went to an AMC Theater and they had it, the lightest skin. This is the real one. And this one doesn't open up. It snaps. Yeah, babe. Where's this thing going to go? It's going to have to go. I'm going to put on top of it where the Beatles and Mono set is. In the corner.
You're going to have to use it. Put it on the table next to your chair or something.
Well, I gotta have it somewhere people could see when on camera, Drag, man.
Put some wrapped candies in there or something. Every time somebody comes over, they can grab some candy out of it or something.
Oh, I can put my cough drops in there.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't eat candy. Unlike you, I don't eat ice cream after the show's over, Tom. Although well.
How do you know what I was going to do after the show?
Because you always say you're going to have ice cream after the show.
Well, I got a movie to watch, and then I'm going to get some ice cream.
And in my next update on my other channel, I will talk about it because I did eat those chocolate chip cookies she made. I did have I think 3 the first night, then 5 the second night.
Oh, boy.
And that has set me back the last couple of days. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me, man. It's that little bit. It was enough. So now it's okay. I'll get rid of that. I'm telling you, man. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you can have holidays are made to cheat. You're allowed to cheat on a holiday. That's part of the rules." I'm like, no, it's not. Not for me, anyway. What am I missing here? Oh, De Niro, come on with him. I never thought there's a guy that's such a freaking the same all the time. I don't know, man.
It's not.
When he was younger, he wasn't, but now he is. Well, not when he was younger, I admit, but now
Jack is always the same. Jack was always the same. Speaking of somebody that's always the same, he was always the same.
I don't know about this.
Salo was an Italian film, and it's not a horror film per se. It's more of a psychological horror film with these fascist Italians and what they do with these bunch of kids that they've taken to this castle. That's the horror aspect of it, what they put these kids through. But it is one of the most disturbing films of all time.
Well, is that even more disturbing for kids than Night of the Hunter?
Oh, this is more it's 10 times more disturbing than Night of the Hunter.
Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just your opinion.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah. He's still one of the greatest actors of all time.
Still, I didn't know he ever was.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Still in high profile. He's still in high profile projects. He's still getting nominated for awards. He just got a Lifetime Achievement Awards at Cannes, the film festival. So He's not. He's not. He owns a studio. You know.
Wow. It was a studio even. Well,
Yep.
how do you answer a question like this? I think the main thing is the idea of the three characters. The shark, Hunter Quint, everyman Brody, the shark expert, oceanographer Hooper, and them bonding and coming together, trying to stop this threat. And along with it is good acting, good directing, good editing, great music. And it's a horror movie at first, then it turns into an adventure, high sea adventure. It's a little bit everything. I mean, you can watch it over and over again. I think that movie, well, at least once a year in the summertime, and I wouldn't mind seeing that movie on the big screen at the theater every year if they bring it back every summer. I'm telling everybody out there within the sound of my voice, if you like Jaws, either if you've never seen it or you like it and have seen it, you got to see it on a big screen. That one. Some movies all movies really, but you can get away with some other ones. But it's my opinion. I get more versatile than that. Yeah. True. Leave it to Henry. Well, Jaws 2 is the least the worst of the sequels. Well, check out my reviews. I did them all. I'm starting to use end cards or end titles. They're not really doing any big deal, actually. Storyline, the actors, the ending. One of my favorite movies of all time is Jaws. You keep on defending them. You just keep on.
It's very easy to defend him.
Well, not these days.
Well, just because he doesn't like oranges doesn't mean, you have to stop liking them.
Well, he also doesn't like those red, white, and blue ice cream pops either.
Yeah. They taste like shit.
But everything that guy ever put, it's just so out of left field. Everything, it's. I can't say I'll have to delete all this stuff. I did that with the last.
I agree. We don't have to get. Yeah, let's not get into it.
He's just.
You cut. Yeah, you cut. That's right. I forgot you cut down last week's episode.
Did you sometimes you check them. You check them. Watch them back.
Yeah. Well, I remembered that it was gone, and then I forgot about it, and then the next morning or something like that, the next day, then I saw that you put it back up.
Well, what sucks about it is if you want to edit anything, it takes a long time, a lot of hours before you can edit. It's got to process. That's why. So I put it on private while it was processing. All right, what's the new Billy Joel 2-part?
Richard? Where's it going to be streaming?
I haven't even heard about it, so I can't.
Yeah, I just heard about it last week that there's going to be a Billy Joel documentary. Oh, HBO. Okay, I got to get HBO. Actually, that's HBO owns. Or does it own it? Or Warner Brothers does Warner Brothers own HBO and DC? Anyways, they're all in the same camp. So I'm gonna start getting the HBO app soon because I know all the DC stuff. Because not only is the DC doing movies, but they're also doing TV shows as well, and that are going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah, come on. This is the end. This might be the end of the road. It's 93 minutes, folks, anyway. So I think we're at the end of the line.
End of the line.
But, okay, folks, this has been a real blast, as always, and a lot to talk about here tonight. It was. But I don't know. I'm starting to dig this phony shark. It really looks better than the other one. But anyway. Okay, so put this question out, and then we'll say goodnight. So anybody else want to end it instead of Henry?
Yes, he's very overexposed right now. Yes.
I don't know who he is.
He's
Me neither.
playing Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four. He's been in a very high
Pedro.
profile. Yeah, he's in the very high profile TV HBO show called The Last of Us, which is based off a video game, and he's just been in movie after movie after movie after movie. So
That's not a bad idea. Anybody want the phony shark? Maybe it's going to be worth money. I'll tell you one thing though. Like I said, the official one is very lightweight. The one that I got is very heavy, and I think it's like plaster on the bottom or something. I don't know what the hell that was. Human Nature. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen every movie Spielberg ever made, but I'm going to say yes. But then again, I mean, I've seen Schindler's List.
Schindler's List.
I saw Schindler's List. I actually knew these guys that made a parody of it, and they called it Schindler's List. Schindler's List. And I've seen Close Encounters, and I've seen, help me with this, War of the Worlds, and I've seen E.T., and I've seen, I don't know, what other great movies does he have? Lots of them, but I can't think of it.
There's almost too many to think of. But
was the best.
His last movie was fantastic.
I think Schindler's List might be his best movie, but you know what? I saw it twice in the theater when it came out, and I haven't seen it since, and I don't want to. But that might tell you how good it is. It's so realistic and so sad and disheartening that, you know, I just don't really want to see it again. But it's a great film.
Yeah, you know. His last movie, The Fabelmans, which is semi-biographical, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that end out with that. Ah, come on, I can't keep editing stuff. Hey, what time was that? I'm saying that as a habit too. Unbelievable. The timing. I've been saying that everywhere I go. Boy, I'm saying that everywhere. I don't know where it comes from, but I say it. Like an oh God kind of thing. And Harry, change your tune, man. This is where you give me a headache. You know, now you're going to talk about Liam Neeson again being great in Naked Gun. You say this every time we talk. It's the same stuff. Anyway, let me see if I can cut. I'm going to cut straight to this. Okay, everybody. So here we are. All right. Well, anyway, it's been a blast, as I say. I know you feel the same way, guys.
Absolutely.
So, hopefully we'll do it again next week or whenever we do it. And you know, West Side. I wouldn't see that. If I was going to see any West Side Story, I'd see the one directed by Robert Wise. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Rita Moreno in it.
I'd see the Zeffalini version.
All right, folks. So I don't know how to end this. I want to end it like cheerful and say, okay, you know, but
how about this?
Are you gonna get to watch all our channels, and you know, you guys could talk. You could plug yourselves if you want. You want to do that?
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy, or are you gonna bite?
Do you guys want to plug or no? I don't plug. I don't care. I'm giving
Two legs. The Paul McCartney podcast on YouTube, everywhere else. Subscribe.
Snapcracklepop.podomatic.com. I'm hoping to put a new podcast up for tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna as soon as 9. I think I got 9 more days or 8 days. I can change my title of my new channel again, which is now called. What is it called now? Thank God it's Monday.
That was actually ended up being a pretty good live stream, Joe.
Yeah, you like that live stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, how you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it last night when I got home from work.
Oh, I didn't think you watched things back like that. Well, you know, too bad people. I want to get people on there. Yeah. And by the way, Tim, you may have noticed a couple of messages that I had to delete after the fact. I was saying, hey, well, were you around yesterday? Because you weren't on Docs either.
No, I wasn't on Doc's channel either. I got a call at like 10 o'clock Saturday night saying there was a family gathering at my sister's house, and my mother loaned her car to my nephew. So I not only had to go, I had to pick my mother up and bring her and then stay the whole time until she was ready to leave and then take her home. So, I wasn't around yesterday at all.
Yeah, because it was a last minute thing. I was gonna do that live stream thing. I'm thinking about moving my regular live streams over to the new channel that I'm doing with the lifestyle channel, so to speak, whatever you want to call it. Is that a new acquisition for you?
No, I've had this.
Yeah.
I just got out of storage.
How about, are you like really excited about the oven mitt or not?
You know what? No, I am kind of jealous because I had a chance to get that on his website, and I just thought, oh, it's going to be there for a while. But yeah, the one I'm really mad about not getting was the Zippo lighter. That's the one I really should have got.
I actually got another McCartney thing coming. It's actually Mikey Rugula got it, and he ordered it for me, and he's got it. I'm going to pay him. But
poor John and George and Ringo, man. Just get McCartney stuff,
Yeah, poor John.
Yeah,
poor John. Poor John, baby.
Yeah, let's see. Come on, let's see. There it is. All right, good. Excellent. That's cool.
Well, that's really like, isn't that really like a elaborate design?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where's it going to go? I'm thinking of putting it, if I ever can clean up behind me so that I can get a step ladder, I'm going to put it on here.
Actually, you know what you could do? You could put it on the ceiling, and you'll be able to see it from the angle.
That's true. That's true.
You can put it on the ceiling.
This is really. Did I have it? Yeah. Okay. There's a lot.
Be careful. It looks like it's gonna. Oh, it's just folded. It was folded at one time.
It's folded. It's folded a lot. I don't know if that's just the way it came.
Yeah.
It probably did.
I wanted this for a long time. I could put this would be good on the ceiling. Actually, I didn't think about that. Or I might just put it along that side rim there.
Right. Yep.
But I can't get near there right now. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thank you all for being here. I just gave you a sneak preview of my next Beatles finds. There's tape on here. Oh, I didn't know you had tape on there.
Somebody taped it up on the wall.
All the corners have tape. It's okay. Okay, good night tonight, everybody. See you all soon. End stream. Here I go. Cheers.